We are going to build a website which has animations on scroll effect. So this is how the website looks, and when we scroll it, as you can see, the components enter from both sides, and when we scroll up, they fade out from both sides. And to do this, we are going to use this awesome library called Animate on Scroll. This is available on GitHub, so you can check it out here. Make sure to check out the description as there are a lot of cool stuff in there as well. Now let's get started with building our website. So I have some images here which I will be using in the project. Let's go ahead and make an HTML file. Let's title the project by Recipe Unlimited. Now I'm gonna give this a header. Then inside of the header h1 and a span. The span will say recipe and unlimited. The header will also have a paragraph which will ask the user, what will you eat today? So this is for the header. Now let's get on with the main thing. Define a div with the class of container, and inside of this another div with the class of card. Now every card will have an image. The source is ./r1.jpg, and after the image we'll have a div with the class of body which will have an h3. So for the first card, let's name it pizza paneer, and then it will have a paragraph, let's say lorem tab. So this will give us some random text. Now what we need to do is copy this entire card 4 more times. Now let's rename the images. This one will be R2 and the name will be prawn pulao. Next one will be R3 and this one will be called gobi keema. And the fourth one then we'll call it healthy veggie. And finally, the fifth one let's go with while mashup. Let's save this and let's open up this with Light Server. And this is how this looks. So that's all with the HTML. Oh no, I also want to give this a footer. So say footer, and this footer will have an h4, which is gonna say filling foodie tummies, and then a span which says since 1947. Let's save this, and that's all we have to do with HTML. Now let's go towards CSS. First we'll link our CSS file here, and that's cool. Let's create a style.css file. Okay, for starter we'll declare our global styles, margin 0, then padding also 0, box sizing will be border box. So this basically removes all the margin and padding in our site. Next we want to define some font style for our entire site. Let's go to Google Fonts. And search for this one, Girasol. Click here, tap here, and then just copy this. Then go back and paste this in the head section of the HTML and above our style sheet. Then we'll just say here font family, Girasol, and cursor. Then next, styles for the container. Let's give it a max width of 60 VW, a margin of auto, also an overflow of none, and padding of 0% and 2 rem. Let's check this out. So this has changed our fonts and also brought the content in the center. Next up, let's style the card image. So dot card and image. The image will take the entire width of the container. So let's say width to be 100%. Also a height of 100% and a minimum height of 15 em. So now the images are taking the entire height and width of the container. Now let's make the 2-column layout. So for card, display grid, and then specify the proportions of grid template columns, 1 FR each, because there are 2 columns. And then let's check this out. So as you can see, we have now two columns. Now what we need is some space here. We'll give a grid cap of 2 rem, a margin bottom, of also 2 rem, and a background color of beach. This looks a lot more neater. Okay, so this one doesn't. Let's solve this. It's the fourth card. So this was missing, and now it's cool. For the next thing, I also want some space here inside of the body within the content. We'll be styling the body class. Give it a padding of 2 rem. And then we'll also be styling, giving some space to the paragraph inside the body. So padding 1 rem and 0. So now there's some space here as well. Now for the next thing, let's style the header. The header will have a height of 45 VH, a display of flex because we want to center it, so I'm going to use flex box, display flex, and what this will do is stack them in the same row, which I don't want. So I'll make the flex direction to be column. This will stack them on top of each other, and then we'll align items to center and also justify content to center. So this is what we want. Let's give some more height to our header, say 65, a bit more, say 67. Yeah, that's neat. So this will now only show the first card, and when we scroll down, the other cards will appear. Now let's style this span, give it a different color. Say header span, and then give it a color of chocolate. This looks cool. Now what I want is to have these images on different sides alternatively. That is, first one on left, second one on right. So basically we'll say first select the card class, and then we'll use the end child pseudo selector and all the even elements, and then we'll select the image of all the even elements. And basically in flexbox, in grid, the order is 1 2, so we are changing the order, giving the image the order of 2. So as you can see, the images have been swapped. That's cool. Now let's style the footer. Footer will have a height of 10 vh and also display flex direction column, and then again a line items center, and also justify content to be center. And again this is in the center now, and let's again style this span. Okay, so footer span and give it a color of chocolate, and here it is. Now I also want to have a button in each of these cards which will say order now. So for that, let's go in our HTML, and in each card we'll add a link which will say with the class of order, and which will say order now, and then copy this in all the cards. So let's style this button now. A will have a text decoration of none, a color of white, not wheat, white, and then background color black, and a padding of 0.1 em and 2 em. Yeah, so this is what we want. So that's all. Now we are going to animate all these cards using this library. So here's how you bring this in our project. This is the CSS link, and then this is the script, the JavaScript link, and this is how you initialize the library in our project. And basically there is another method in which you can also pass parameters in the init function itself. So let's start. Then at the end of the body, bring in the script, say. Now these are all the attributes which we can define on any of the elements. So this is data AOS and fade up. So let's try this out on the first card. Data AOS, set it to fade up. Save this and let's refresh. And as you can see, the card is animated. Now what we want to do is put animations on both of these things, that is the image as well as the body text, so that this comes in from both sides, but not the first card. Except for the first card, all the other cards. So let's remove this. Go to the second card, image, and say data AOS and set it to left. This means that the image will fade in from left. Then copy this and then in the body will fade from right. Now this will be alternate, that is in the second card it would be the image will be fade right and the body will be fade left. Now when I scroll, now the animations are a bit too fast and I want them to be a little slow. For this I'll pass some parameters inside of the init function. The first one is offset, which will be 200. The default is 120 and a duration of 500. Default is 400. And now let's preview. As you can see, now it takes a bit longer for the animations. So this was a very easy way of animating on scroll. I'll be doing a lot more videos using a lot of CSS and JS libraries which give us a lot of different features. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.